Do you know this house? The year is 1920 and a 33-year-old architect arrives in Los Angeles from Chicago to oversee construction of a large house in Hollywood designed by Frank Lloyd Wright. He falls in love with the state. He goes up to Yosemite to go camping. He writes back to friends telling them how much he loves the light and the climate. Their client, Elaine Barnsdale, begins fighting with Wright. They have many creative differences, and our young 33-year-old architect, Rudolph Michael Schindler, finds himself in the middle playing mediary. As mid-1921 approaches, a greatly scaled-back Barnsdale estate begins to wrap up construction. Schindler, who is also now constantly arguing with Wright, quits and decides to go out on his own. He and his wife Pauline find this piece of property in West Hollywood on a dirt road called Kings Road. They decide this would be the great place to design a house for themselves and another couple, Clyde and Mary Ann Chase. Between November and December of 1921, the first scheme that they submitted to the building department was
denied, girlfriend.
You got it, denied. The house was way too progressive for the building department. No one had seen up until this point a house designed for two couples. Schindler and his wife were very interested in a revisionist lifestyle, and the architecture becomes an experiment in communal living. The floor plan we see today is sort of like a pinwheel. Schindler uses the pinwheel shape to divide the house into 4 studios, one for each of them to live and create. They also have a guest apartment that is completely private. They would share the kitchen and garage. Between February and January of 1922, the house is constructed. The materials are concrete, wood, glass, and canvas. Now, they pour 4-foot wide slabs on site and use this tilt-up construction method to pour the concrete wall sections. He uses these L and U-shaped heavy concrete walls that ground the house, and as a clever way of providing privacy and a more stable structure. Where concrete segments are joined, a single strip of glass is used to let light in while maintaining privacy. Now, the sides that face the courtyard have this very Japanese-inspired feel. They are a very light structure of wood, glass, and canvas, and he plays with light going between clear and translucent. He also plays a game of cat and mouse, architecturally speaking, where the concrete walls are tapered, the canvas-covered sliding doors are also set at the same angle. Notice the concrete is heavy and solid, where the screens are light but yet read as a solid. Then there are these architectural moments where the main materials meet and play off of each other, performing this asymmetrical-like dance. Then there are these 2 covered sleeping decks that are perfectly placed over the entrance and assist with another architectural effect that Schindler learned from Wright: compression and release. They compress you into small, tight spaces before releasing you into a larger space. As you approach the entry of the house, the ceilings would go from 6'2" up to 8-foot and sometimes 9-foot high ceilings. This effect is also enhanced with these clear story windows. Schindler uses this again around the courtyards, but this time it's to transition you from interior spaces to exterior spaces. This is where we see the birth of blending indoor and outdoor living that Southern California would be known for. This is the Schindler House, and in his words, a real California scheme. My name's Dee, and this is architecture.